Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear students. This is specifically for some of you, such as those of you that are doing digital device holders that require you to design something that has two different shapes from the bottom to the top. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use offset planes. So Iris, I'm thinking about you and yours, and this is kind of my mock-up of what yours might look like. Others of you might have something similar. Okay, so I'm going to go into Fusion 360. This is my completed piece, but I'm going to start from the start and show you how I've gone ahead and created a thing called an offset plane. Okay, and then how I've swept or lofted that through to create the shapes that we've got here. Okay, so I'm just going to start with a new design. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a sketch. Okay, on the if I'm looking at it in plan view, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the size of the bottom. Yeah. Now I don't know what yours is, but I'm going to start by doing a rectangle, and I'm going to do a 3-point rectangle. Okay, because I want to know where the center of the rectangle is. So the center's there, and then I'm going to make it, let's say, 400 that way, yeah, and tab, and I'm going to make it, let's say, 550 this way, okay. And if I hit enter and I zoom out, I end up with this size here, okay. So it's 400 by 550. So that's the bottom part of the of this table, yeah. And then, yep, and now I will hit finish sketch, and I'll go back to home. I'm set with that, okay? Now what I need to do is I need to create the top part, this one here. So I've just created the bottom square. Now I want to create the top square. And the top square is probably, I don't know, is it 250 millimeters off the top? Yeah, 200 millimeters away from here, above. So I'm going to construct an offset plane, okay? So create a construction plane that's offset from the selected face. So offset, so I'm going to offset it up, yeah, what did I say? 200, and let's make it 250 millimeters, yeah? So now I'm left with not just, I'll turn the origin on again, not just this plane, and this plane, but I'm also left with another plane, which is 250 millimeters above this plane here. So it means that now I can go and create a sketch on this plane, yeah? And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a rectangle, a 3-point rectangle. That's the center, and let's make it 4. Oh, hang on. Let's make it. Oh, sorry, hang on. Let me just escape out of that. Let's make that 300 in blue, and let's make that 450 in that way, and hit enter. And now, if I hit finish sketch, can you see how there's two squares, two rectangles? Sorry, one there and one there. Okay. And what I can do is I can now go and loft. So that allows me to create a shape between two or more sketch profiles. Yeah, so I'm going to loft profiles. Which profiles? That profile to that profile. Yes? Hit OK. And that's it. I'm done. Okay? So what I can now do is I'm going to hollow it out on the inside. Yeah? I'm going to hollow it out on the inside by doing this thing called shell. So I'm going to shell this body. Oh, it's good, Vinci. Hey, I'm recording something, okay? And let's say the material that we're going to use is 6 millimeter thick ply. So I'm gonna make the inside thickness 6 millimeters. Yeah. Hit OK. I'm done. Yeah. So you can see that that's it, finished. Yeah. And if I orbit it around, so if I orbit it around, you can see that it's hollow on the inside. Yeah. And now what I would go about and do is I'd go and fill it, all the edges, you know, make all the edges. Let's make them, you know, what does 4 millimeters or whatever it is it's going to be. I'll let you do that. I'm not going to bother doing that. Okay. But now that we've got that, the next thing we need to do is we need to create those shapes. Yeah, the shapes there and the shapes there. Okay. So I'll show you quickly how I would do those. Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll create a shape, and then I'll pull it through. So I'm going to create a sketch, but I'm going to create it. I want to create it on that plane there. Yeah, can you see that red and blue plane? Now it's really difficult to click that because it's inside this box. But if I click and hold, it says select the plane or planar face. So it's saying, do you want this face? Do you want this face? Do you want this XZ or this XY? Can you see that XZ, the one that's highlighted? That's the plane that I want to draw on. So I'm going to click XZ and then it'll go like this. And now I can create an arc, a 3-point arc. And I'm going to come in, say, oh, hang on, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to snap to grid, yeah? And I'm going to click on that one there. And I think 1, 2.5, that one there's the same. And I'm going to pull it up to, I don't know, about there. Does that look good? Hit OK. And now I'm going to draw a line that goes from there to there because I need to turn this into a shape. You see, it's slightly gone a slightly blue color. So now that's a shape. Hit finish sketch. And now I should be able to extrude that. But I don't want it just one side. I want it both sides and I want it symmetrical. So if I push one, then the other one comes through, yeah? So I'm going to push that out. And can you see how as I push the one on the left, the one on the right comes out as well. It doesn't matter how far I go out, just so long as I break through the wall of that. Hit OK. And there you go, you've got that. Yeah, can you see that's all? Whoop. Hang on, let me go back home. But you can see that. Ooh, my computer's just gone crazy. And we're back to there. Okay. Well, that's good, doesn't it? Yeah. At the table. Okay. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the little handles that I have there. Yeah. So remember I have those handles here. Yeah. And again, they're slots. Yeah. So I'll go back to this one here. So again, I created a sketch, and this time I want to create it on that plane there. Yeah. So click and hold. Select a face. I don't want that face. I don't want that face. I want this YZ plane. YZ plane. And look, I've got it to there. So now I can create a slot. So slot gives me a center point slot. I like this one. Center point slot. So there's my center point because it's in the center. Yeah. And I make it, I don't know, let's make it 60 millimeters that way. And hit tab, 0 degrees. Yep. 60. Yep. Yep. Click. And then how tall do I want it? Oh, actually looks pretty good. It's 40. So I hit 40. Yep, and hit enter. I'm left with that. Yeah, so finish sketch. Can you see that's in the middle? Yeah. So again, so I'll extrude that, not on a distance. Oh, sorry, not on one side, but symmetrical. I'm going to push it all the way through. Hit OK. Yeah. You can see now that you've got exactly what you want. Now, what there isn't there isn't a supporting piece that goes down through the middle or a supporting piece that goes across there. I could put those in, yeah, but to be honest, I think that this is actually pretty good the way that it is, yeah. If I was able to create this, laser cut this and glue this together, I wouldn't need any of those supporting pieces. Do you know what I mean? So that should be yours, all finished and ready to go. Obviously, you're going to want to fillet it. You're going to want to maybe go from design. You might want to render it as well. You know, give it some color, all that sort of stuff. Okay, but that should be a really nice, a nice project when you finish with it. Okay.